Welcome back to the show, y'all. This is Culturally Distinct Podcast. Your boy DJ KO. I'm glad you guys tuned in. Before we get started, I gotta get my information out. I gotta get some shots out. I gotta make sure that the people that take care of me, I gotta take care of them first. So first and foremost, thank you guys. Look at that, camera's going off. She just messed up already. It's all good. But thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, you faithful, loyal people who viewed the show. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate your feedback. Thank you guys. Also, I'd like to give a big shout out to my sponsor, 605 Infused Beverages. This is your only alcohol infused marijuana product on the market, and it's black owned. So make sure you reach out to those guys at Drink ALP6. They are here in the Houston area. They're in New York. They're on the West Coast. They're in the East Coast. They're Midwest. They're everywhere. So they're growing, and they're one of my sponsors. So I appreciate you guys for coming and sponsoring, allowing me to sponsor the project. Did I say that right? Allowing me or allowing whatever. I just edit that out. It's all right.
You said it good.
I said it right? Oh, okay. Yeah. Also, I'd like to thank Red Coral Universe for being a partner with Culturally Distinct, for allowing Culturally Distinct to reach more people, reach more households, and also more channels. So we're now on Tubi, Hulu, and Roku. So shout out to that. That's much love right there, God. There is a God somewhere. So I got that out the way. So now I got to get to my guest. First of all, before look, you heard us in the background. We was trying to get things situated, and since she's in media, you know, she got to have the perfect look, the perfect view, headphones or not. Everybody like to welcome to the show, Miss Jazmin Anderson. How you doing, man?
It's been a minute.
I know it's been since the pandemic.
Wow, a lot has happened.
Long time. A lot of people done died and shit.
Oh, why we gotta bring that
What?
up on my show? A lot of people to live.
A lot of people, well, I ain't gonna say die. I'm gonna say that a lot of people didn't make it this far.
And learned a lot, you know, in the process. So,
And some people had new life.
right, some people came up,
Yeah, some people had children.
and some people, you know, had some businesses start. So,
Yeah,
you know.
I got you. Yes, that's wonderful, man. So look, how have you been?
You know what? I've been doing actually really good. I've just been continuing to press forward, no matter what challenge or situation seems to happen or come my way. You know, I'm trying to just stay focused on what the vision is. And
That's
so,
wonderful. And I see that you have a new book out.
Yes.
Well, I'll give you hands, claps for that. Media Magnate, and we're going to talk about that. Media Magnate. Before we get into that, I want to know, this is your what, third book?
It's my fifth book, but my third actual full book. So it's Live Fully, Powerful Woman, Media Magnate. And the other ones have like a journal and a workbook.
Right. So before we get in the book, I want to know, first of all, the inspiration behind the book.
Right. Well, I get, you know, me being in the media business, I get so many questions, people asking me, or emails. People want to know like certain things with their brand, or if they do, you know, if they have like an interview or something, they want to ask me what questions kind of might need to be asked. Or I was doing a lot of helping for businesses as well to help them get more exposure, get out there. So I was getting a lot of questions, and I also wanted people to know and understand that how much information I actually know in media, because a lot of times, you know, they might know but not really know what you actually do. And so this was kind of putting that stamp on like, oh, okay, yeah, she knows a little bit about what's going on, and she's really an expert in it. And so that's kind of what I wanted to bring to the forefront, is let people, like, when they think of me, you know, that one thing they think about, I want it to be media, but good media. And so I want it to be that, instead of like the Powerful Woman, the Live Fully, those were personal development, you know, books. But this one, I want people to identify. If they think of media, good media, they want to think, oh, Jasmine, or some type of way collaborating or something along media.
Right. So you mentioned the term, you say good media.
Yes.
So I'm a firm believer of this. What's the term? I hear this all the time on movies. I want to say it right. It's no such thing as bad publicity. No such thing as bad publicity.
That's true, but you know, it still is good and bad. It's just on how we perceive it. But it's still, you could be on the good side, or you could be like the person making sure it's bad. But if you're a person and people talking about you, then yeah, that's different. But there could be bad media in the sense of making you think a certain way. it's bad media in a way of making you only think low or low vibrational. And I'm just
Mm,
saying I'm more the inspirational, more to bring you higher. So it just depends on what you're looking at is what I'm saying. I'm not talking about like if you popular or something, those people say yeah, all publicity is good because they getting
right,
talked about.
right.
But I'm talking about more like on an intellectual, like is it feeding you or is it not what you're looking at?
Okay, so you're more of a person, like you said, positive, but you have a message
Hmm.
in your purpose, and you
Yeah.
understand your purpose. You understand your platform. You understand your influence,
Yes.
and you prefer to put something positive out there versus somebody to say, "Man, hell with it. We're gonna get this thing popping.
Yeah, no, no.
Let's get this thing
It's all
popping."
intentional. It's all about leaving a message just to help the human race be better. And that's kind of what we need more of, like the information, resources, things like that. And a lot of times we don't have that
Right,
in certain communities. And my thing is to help put that on the map for us so we
right.
have that.
So I want to get into the media space now. The media space where we are now. We know that uh, 2 or 3 years ago during the pandemic, we was inside, right? So media
For
was
real.
a very important tool where a lot of people started businesses, a lot of people started brands, a lot of people exposed themselves,
Hmm.
and a lot of people went out of business. Like especially now, I look at platforms like ESPN, where now they're firing on-air anchors and
Yeah.
they hiring like people who had podcasts at their home
Right.
and they bring them on to a live studio audience because that's not now that's the actual platform where people have their own space
Exactly.
on public television. Uh, when we talk about media, where do you see media going now? Because AI is a big thing now,
Hmm.
and a lot of people are trying to infuse AI within media. So where do you see media? Do you still see like the Instagrams? What's the new one? Trends?
Yeah, well, you have traditional media, which is like the book, kind of what we're used to news, and then we have the new media, which is like the digital form
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. Like everything is streaming. So I would say it's definitely going to be media is in everything. So media isn't going anywhere. That's how we learn. It's all around us from what we're looking at. When we're driving, the billboards, everything you do as a person, it was inspired by some type of media. From you either reading a book, you watching something, you listening to something, you driving, like it's all around us. If you're at the store, it's constant advertisement, constant marketing. When you're in
Correct.
grocery stores, it's around you. It's just if you know it is, if you understand what's going on around
Right.
you.
Right.
But it's gonna always be here.
Okay, so let me ask you this: since you were, I'm gonna say, can I call you a mogul? Media
Okay,
mogul.
yeah, that's fine.
As a mogul,
Yes.
I could say a mogul. So you should have the information. So
Hmm.
I'm gonna ask you the information. So
Okay.
if a person is trying to get a certain look, like they're trying to get, I guess, so many clicks,
Uh-huh.
right, on their brand, uh, and the traditional way of going about that is depleted. You know,
Right.
because YouTube is they didn't cancel that, Instagram didn't cancel all that stuff. So now it's like
Yeah.
you have to be popping, popping. So, what are some words of advice if a person is looking and they have a good product,
Hmm.
but they're looking to get into the space? What
Get
are
it
the
out there.
yeah? What's the first thing?
I would say definitely first get the book because it's going to give you that information with the marketing and your branding, and it's going to show you some things, some tools to use. But what I can give is you definitely want to get someone who has the experience in there. You can do what you can do, to get out there. Once you do that, first get you a PR, get you somebody who actually understands it. But some things you can do before you even go there, I would say, is to look at who are the people who are influencing. Who are some of the people who have some higher followers than you? Who are some people around you that hey, I could shoot a DM to, or I could email them and see if they could hold my brand or do a commercial with me or post me on their page, or look at some of those other media outlets who might have like maybe 10,000 or 100,000 or 2 million, and see what is that, because some of those you might be able to do 20 all the way to 100, then you
Hmm.
got the 1,000. So I would say market depending on your budget. Who I think the most I've paid for was like 2,500 on a social media platform. That's just one post.
Hmm.
So it's gonna cost, and then you have some would be 100. You might have some that are 50. So I would say start there because it's just you getting talked about, you getting put on different social media platforms. So that's what I would say first to do, is to look at who are the influencers, and then show yourself as you being an expert in whatever it is you're selling. So like you said, the YouTube, like
Right.
you said, there's the Twitter, there's the media platforms that are all free. You should come up on each one of those, showcasing your business. So that already puts you ahead of the game. If they are looking for something, they're able to say, hey, no, this person is all around. It's not like they can't find you or they can't find your brand except for on one platform. So I would say from there, start putting yourself on every platform with your business. No matter what they have, they should be able to have you. Like, no matter, I mean, there's so many different ones. There's like of course we know the TikTok is new. There's like so many. They got the Tumblr. They
Mm-hmm.
have like that new one where it's like for gamers. I
Mm-hmm.
have it in the book. It's like
Twitch.
so Twitch.
Twitch.
They
Yeah.
have Twitch. They have like so many, and I listed them in there as well in the book, and just ones that you can get a part of, because that's first. Show yourself as being like you understand your product. You're doing commercials yourself. Like you have to start out doing those things. Get you a cute little way of how to advertise your business and get yourself out there. Like, you have to start being the commercial. You have to start being in front of the camera. A lot of times people want to be behind with
Right.
their businesses, but sometimes you have to be the face first before you hire somebody else to be the face, to show the trustworthy and things like that with your brand.
But how do you know? How does a person know if they're supposed to be in front of the camera? They might have the talent, but they
Mm-hmm.
might not have the skill set.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, do what you feel you could do.
Okay.
Like, hey, if you got the idea to have a business, you got to know, okay, this is how I want to market it. This is my vision for it. If you don't have the vision for it, then you're right. You need to figure out what that vision looks like, what is on mission, so you understand who needs to be a part of your brand. You don't want to get the wrong people to highlight your business. You want to know what your mission is. Okay, if it's positive, if it's uplifting, I need to go to uplifting media outlets. If it's like, oh, I want it in the club, I want it in this type of audience, I want this crowd, then you know what? I need to make sure I get some club like people. I need to make sure the vibe and the energy is different. Or if it's like business professionals, you need to make sure you're in a business setting when you do that, or you're dressed business casual or business professional. So it's just about who your target audience is. And I think once you know your target audience, once you know kind of what your vision is, your mission for what that looks like, it'll come to you ideas. And then like you said, there's social media, there's AI, there's chat, there's things you can do
Yeah.
now. You can ask those things, kind of what could be a script. You can ask them now what would be a good script for your business. And so it's so amazing, like technology. It is so vast, and so it's just understanding it a little bit more. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand it, and that was my reason too
Right.
for writing the book. They don't understand how powerful media is and the new age of media and the digital.
Yeah.
And so that's important that you understand it, because it's here, like it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, because script writing, I'm glad you mentioned script writing, because Chat GTP,
Yeah,
they will script write anything for you.
exactly.
You just ask them exactly. Of course, you got to be
If you know,
detailed.
but you got to know your vision. You got to
Right.
know what it is you want to put out there.
Right. And even if you don't have the talent to be on camera
Hmm.
to articulate it,
You got a script now.
you have a
You can
script.
ask somebody. You can ask a family member, a cousin, somebody.
Yeah, your uncle, your little
Until
drunk
you
uncle.
get an influencer, until you get somebody
Yeah.
bigger. But you got to use what you got.
Right,
Start
right.
off.
So let me ask you this: challenges and obstacles
Mhm.
that you face when preparing this book. Because I know when a person is writing a book, and it takes time first and foremost.
It does.
It takes time and it takes a lot of research. It's like writing a research paper for college,
Mhm.
right? And then getting a vision of visuals and cover
Yeah.
and everything that you want to put into it and everything you want to leave out of it. You don't want to put too much in it because you might have a volume 2, for
Right.
sales purposes.
But you see, this is a juicy book. This
Okay.
this is a lot of
Oh,
information.
you giving
I'm giving the gems, like literally. I'm giving you how to do digital products right now, and I'm just now putting it out. Like, I'm really giving the sauce, like
Okay.
even how to write a book. It's in
Mm.
there. Podcast. You want to start a podcast? It's in there.
Okay.
Like, if you want to be a radio host, anything media, I'm giving you a guide, like a help start to getting it done.
So I was looking at this title. It said a guide to help you influence and dominate multi-dimensional skill sets to attract and navigate in a diverse digital age. So it's two words that jumped off the page.
Okay.
Multi-dimensional. That's a
Yeah,
whole nother world, right?
we in a whole nother universe, okay? For real. The media is the whole universe, you know?
Right? Multi-dimensional skill set. So now I gotta dissect that because
Yeah, it's big, yeah.
it's heavy, right? If you really know what a dimension is, right? So I'm gonna break it down to the viewers. So if you we're in a 3D dimension,
Yeah.
right? Height, depth, width. But you go to another dimension, now it
Information.
continues to go. And you said multi-dimensional skill set. So therefore,
It's gonna help you in them different areas and
right?
different dimensions that you need to be in.
How does a person discover their multi-dimensional skill set?
How do they discover it? I would say, like you said, you got to have the vision for what it is you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
My goal is just to help you get it more out there,
Mm-hmm.
get more exposure in it. So you got to know what that is for you. I can't tell you, hey, you need to be in real estate. I can't tell you to be a marketer. I can't tell you to be a certain business partner. You have to want that first. If you have that vision, that idea, these are just some tools that can help you in the media world that is everywhere to get better, to be able to dominate, to be able to be great in your industry. And so that's kind of just what I'm sharing, the knowledge that I've learned in school and me being in here over like what I've been here like 15 years or 15 years in the media. You know, it's just the knowledge that I've learned that I wanted to kind of share and kind of put out there in the world, like to let people know, because there is no like small guidebook. There's like the books are big,
Mm-hmm.
like of media. Like every book, I have so many books at home and they're like big. And so I just kind of wanted a quick form, straight to the point, no extra coded. We not playing in the bushes. We not, no, it's just like straight to the point, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is what you do. It's really straight there.
Do you believe this book will resonate with its readers? The
Yes.
information.
I would say because it's around you, like social media. You know, social media. It's just different things on how to use that. You've heard podcasts, so you know, okay, podcast. But I'm showing you, okay, this is how you start it. This is how you do it. You see digital products, whether
Mm-hmm.
you've bought them or not, they're everywhere. Like now, the click funnels, everything is like, hey, it's in your face. You know, with people like advertising. If you're on social media, you constantly get advertisement. You're constantly getting marketed to. Now, if you even say something by your phone,
Pops
now
up.
your phone is like, I'm like, wow, they're just listening to our conversation
Right.
because it starts popping up in my feed. If I'm talking to somebody about something, all of a sudden I'm starting to see it. So it's around you. And my idea was just to kind of help people. A lot of people don't understand what's going on because it's so vast, it's so fast. You know, they just know, oh, social media, let me get on here and post a cute picture.
Right. Right.
Like
Right.
it's way more than that. And so
Right.
it's just to kind of give you the knowledge to understand that.
Do you think? Do you think? Especially now, do you think it's a such thing as oversaturation of media? Like it's too much?
Right? I would say it is. Like sometimes you have to plug out. It's so much information. Like you have to plug out sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but a lot of times we're getting very, I wouldn't say anxious, but we're kind of addicted to it. You know, a lot of people are addicted. They can't get off their phone. Like they're always on a tablet, a
Or something?
gadget.
Yeah.
It's something like they can't put it down. And so sometimes you have to plug out to like be in your own world, to be in your own space of what you need to do. Because if not, that's constantly showing you their vision of what they want, you know, or by what you've kind of put or what you like or what you don't like, they're bringing it more to you. So it's kind of like you have to plug out, like to reassure, okay, is this part of what I want to do or what I want to bring, or is this distracting me
Right.
from what I need to be doing?
Right.
You know?
So, by you being in the media, right? Because you done read some things, you done journal, you done interviewed. What is your favorite part of media?
I would say the first thing is like the people. You know, I wanted to be in media because I always was interested in people's stories. That was kind of when I was in high school, when I was thinking what I wanted to do when I grew up and what kind of would be fun, it would kind of be natural. It would
Mm-hmm.
kind of feel like I'm not really working, you know, and I kind of was thinking based off my personality. I'm always curious to know about people's stories, especially if they're successful. I always want to know, like, how did they do it? You know, so I really fell in love with the interview part with trying to understand people. And because if you can understand people, it can help you more in your own life. You know, I wanted to learn their stories or learn information from them to help me in my own life.
Right. Right.
And so that was the first part. And then from there, It was more of, okay, the film, the how it's put together, or I fell in love with, man, how they're able to create things, especially sci-fi, like how we're able to make things that aren't even there appear like they are.
Right, right.
And so I fell in love first with the interview. It really just the understanding people. It was a way where you can communicate or you can learn about somebody really fast, and you felt like you was in a space with them that you never could really get unless you watched the show, or if you watched something you were able to be in that room with them and get that information. And so that was my first part, is the interview side.
Do you think that in your writing, whenever you write a book,
Hmm.
this is your fifth one, do you think that your personal life influences that sometimes? And
Yeah.
I'm let me narrow it down because that's like a big question. So, for instance, like relationships, right?
Uh-huh.
Relationships is a big topic. No matter what time of the year, is always a big topic because
Yeah.
people are learning each other, people are trying to figure it out. But sometimes when they're, you know, writing something or they're focused on something,
Hmm.
that relationship that they're going through at that present time, especially if it's toxic,
Yeah, for sure.
that writing comes out into the book. Even though it could be a book about media, it could be a book
Hmm.
about cooking, it could be a book about planting plants.
Yeah.
But that influence of that relationship comes out in the book. So the question basically, do you think that when you write, your life influences that?
I would say when I've written this particular book, no. I
Okay.
would say challenges or certain things made me want to create a book, like Live Fully. I was going through my own, I needed a self help book and I wanted something I can write. And so I went through challenges and it made me create that, what I needed.
Okay.
And so I would say that happened in Powerful Woman. That was a relationship because I felt like that person was almost like I wasn't good enough, and I had to kind of tap back into, no, I know certain things that were working for me. Like I used to do the vision board. And that worked for me. The person I was with was telling me, you shouldn't do a vision board, was kind of like downplaying certain things I would do. And so it kind of made me it put me in a space where I felt lost. It put me in a space where I felt like I really didn't know who I was,
Mm-hmm.
and I felt like I had to relearn myself. And so that's kind of where that book came from. A Powerful Woman. It was like I had to restore myself, because of, like you said, if you're in a toxic relationship, someone, maybe you might be shining and they try to
Mm-hmm.
tear down your
The
light.
haters, haters.
Yeah, like try to put you down. And it's like, well, these things were working for me, but they can see it as a way where, hey, it doesn't work for them. Like what works for you may not work for other people, but you have to know what works for you, what's gotten you to this point. And so, me writing that book, yeah, I had certain things in there because of that, that I was able to write
Mm-hmm.
on and things like that. But basically, you get into a space when you're writing with a certain topic of what you want it to be. And I guess if it's a relationship book, it kind of would be. But these kind of topics that I have been on, it's more, I'm in that space when I'm writing, like, this is the focus, and it's so straight to the point. It's really not all that extra, like autobiography or something. It's not really all the extra of, like, oh, this happened in my life. Oh, this happened at this time, such and such. It's not that. Like, this one is a straight guide. It's straight to the point. My Powerful Woman was straight to the point as well. It was like certain topics, how to tap into your goddess energy. It was like certain things, a virtuous woman. It was like things that you only could talk about that topic.
Right, right, right.
But I understand what you're saying. Like, if you are, it can kind of slow down the process if
Mm-hmm.
you're in a relationship. Like, okay, I can't write today because my mind's not there.
Right.
But for the most part, if you have a topic and you create a space to write in, you can kind of stay focused in that.
What are you reading now
Oh,
to influence you?
I'm reading this book on Sam Walton. I need to kind of finish it, the founder of Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have that book on my nightstand, and then The Habits of a Rockefeller. So I have that book also
You trying
because,
to get this money, huh?
yeah, I'm trying to get this generational wealth up.
I
And,
got you. I got you.
they've been generational back to back. So I'm like, let me read on these habits. So those are kind of the two that are like right by my bed that I'm trying to finish up.
Mm. That's amazing because most one thing I learned, and this is by just doing research and just talking to people.
Hmm.
People that read a lot, they are very great. They are great listeners. Like they listen real well,
Wow.
and they listen to detail. everybody that I know that reads a lot, they listen. I'm talking about they listen to. If you tell them
Yeah.
something, they will stop you and say, okay, what did you mean by that? Like their
Yeah, like let
counselors.
me understand what you really
Right,
saying.
and I don't like
What you
those people because they pay attention. You know what I'm saying?
you pay it just depends on the atmosphere because sometimes we don't got time to really be listening like that.
Right.
But it just depends on who you are and what you're saying.
Yeah.
If we find it's really value in what you're saying, we're gonna make sure it's the right information.
Right.
You know how we can use it.
Right. Right. Yeah, man. And I see
That's so
those people,
funny.
and I know they know. I'm like, ooh, I can't get one past them. I
Yeah, I
kind
know
of
what
in
you're
media, you could
saying.
kind of braze over something, just ask a question they're gonna ask,
Uh
especially if
huh.
they're not media trained. But if they
Oh
media
yeah.
trained, they be
They
like,
like they real quick with it. What?
that doesn't make sense. Could you repeat the question?
Or we could still kind of put an answer on it.
Right.
So either way,
Or a
we can
generic
still put
answer.
it in a way where it'll sound like
Right.
it
Right.
was in there.
So what is your goal for this book? What is the goal for Media Magnet, and what is the ultimate goal for Jasmine?
Wow, that was good. Well, definitely the goal is to just show me in the media space, like as an expert in it,
Okay.
and to also kind of set the foundation. I am building a TV network, JTV1 Journey to Victory, and so kind of just is like the foundation of kind of some key things, and like I said, I want it to be one thing. I don't want people to think of a million things when they think of me. I want them to constantly think, oh, media, good media. If I need to do some type of media, if we need something or a show, film, I want them to think of my name. And so that's kind of the goal with that, is to kind of create that space and that stamp. Like, hey, this is the media magnet, like Jazmin Anderson, we need to work with her, or this is kind of something we need to collab, anything type media. And I would say the ultimate goal is just to have the TV network where people are able to, through the app, it will be digital and it
Mm-hmm.
will be streaming. And so just to kind of create that world where it is all inspirational content, from our shows to what people are listening to, from the music to the different movies that we'll put out. It's kind of all going to be informative and just help the human race be better. And it won't be like where you have to censor it because your kids or someone's in the room. It's
Right.
kind of like anyone can watch it because it's going to help you at the end of the day just be a better person.
Right.
So you're going to get some type of message from anything you look at, whether it's a course on there, whether it's a show you're watching, or whether you're listening to some certain song or artist. It's all programmed where it's a hub of just inspiring you as a human to want to be the best human you were born to be.
I want to ask you this because I know you have kids, and speaking of media, have you heard what's going on with the
Yes.
books? And
Wait, tell me exactly, because there's a lot going on.
okay,
So I want to
so
be specific, like make sure I
okay,
understand.
so in HISD,
Hmm.
they have these books that basically they talk about sex in the books, and these grade school kids, I'm talking about real
Really?
young, and so the parents are protesting to get that out the books or just
Right?
take the books out. And I want to know what's your take on that because for younger kids reading
Yeah,
about
that should not
sex
be in there.
and about transgender and all that
So yeah,
stuff.
that's the stuff I've been seeing, like,
Yeah,
or just me seeing that at Barnes and Noble, like big old signs of it. It's like, come on now,
right.
like not for children books,
And they
you
have
know,
them like in their
like it's there,
in
it's
their
in your
in their
face.
they have them in their class books, like they're
Yeah,
reading on it.
yeah, that shouldn't
Like
be.
transgender Bob has two apples,
Yeah, no.
stuff like
I
that.
feel like those things are like, if you want to teach your child that should be in your own home. But for a system, I just feel like no, it should be kind of how we were brought up. This is the right way, because you have to think, like, I don't want to get too deep into it, but it's like a man and a woman, like we know that's how you create another human being.
Hmm.
And so it's for you to put those things in our children's heads so young, like that, not to do those things to
Right.
stop that. It's like that should be in your own home if you choose to do that, not in a whole school district. So no, I'm definitely against that. I actually work for HISD. I just started doing after school programs
Okay,
with
that's
the
dope.
kids, teaching media and then personal growth. So every now and then I'll go in the classrooms and I'm teaching. I thought you were talking about where they're trying to, if a parent tells their kid not to, where they're trying to say where they'll come get your kid or something. I thought you
Oh,
was
I,
going to
no,
talk
I
about
didn't. I
that.
didn't even know about that.
That was some law. I think they were trying to, like, if your kid wants to change a certain part or something like that,
Mm.
that they were like, you can't really say that to your kid. And if so, it was like
Wow.
they are trying to put in something where they can come get your kid for that. Like,
Oh, I didn't
What?
know that.
I was like, y'all are really tripping. Like, what is going on in the
Wow. So
world?
the parents have no rights.
Yeah, so it's basically like making the kids have a say. It's like you don't even let kids drink at that age, but
Right.
you feel like they should be able to change their
Their
gender.
gender. Yeah.
It's like, come on, like that's a big thing. That's not no
Yes.
little drink. Like, if that case, they need to drive and drink. They need to be able to be an adult.
Yeah.
If that's what you're trying to say,
That's crazy.
it's like let them be a kid, and if when they're an adult, if they choose to do that, that's their business. But while they're a kid and we were born, we were the parents, like they're given guardian, it's like let us be able to teach them the way we feel is the right way.
Right.
And, because the world is going to try to teach them something anyway. So it's just let us be able to put what we need to in our kids. And if they decide to do that, then that's fine. No one's going against whatever they choose to be when they grow up, but not when they're a little kid. Like, that's definitely,
So I got a trivia question for you. I'm actually two questions, right?
Okay, let's get on some like let's get some.
What do you prefer, right? And I want you
Okay.
to kind of, break it down. Live streaming or pre-recorded?
Oh, that's a good one. I would say live streaming.
Okay, so
It's like a certain feeling you get when it's live. It's like this is it.
right.
When it's pre-recorded, it's like you can mess up. You're not really taking that serious. You could be real chill. It's a whole different energy.
Okay.
When you live, it's like no,
It's
baby, you
live.
got to bring that A game. Like
Right.
there's
it's
no
live.
there's no cut. There we
live.
live. So I like that energy because I like being on my feet. I guess just being in media, being journal, like you have to be on your toes kind of with saying things, especially if you're live and you're recording, doing stuff. So I would definitely say live.
iPhone or digital camera? Which one do you prefer having on you?
What you mean digital camera though?
Like a digital camera.
Like just a regular camera?
Well, a digital camera. It's like a camera like that.
But
You-
it doesn't
would you-
go on social media or nothing. Oh, you're saying like to take a picture?
No. When you're recording, when you're recording,
Oh, okay. When you're
what would you
recording.
rather, an iPhone or a digital camera?
Oh, that's good. I definitely say iPhone
Okay.
because
iPhone,
you can
okay.
do it at any second, any moment.
Okay.
It's like real quick, the digital, and then you can post it real quick.
Right.
When it's digital, you got to take the SD card, you got to set up, or you got to airdrop it. You got to do it. It's like more tricks to it.
Right.
When it's your phone, you can do anything. I can edit on my phone. I can put what I need to on the phone. Boom, we up.
Right.
It's real quick. So yeah, I would definitely pick the iPhone for.
How can the people reach you? How can they get the book? How can they talk to you about media? How can they reach you?
Right, JazminAnderson.com. You can definitely email me.
That was easy.
The
right?
website.
was
Or
easy.
you go to, social media, but I don't know. I don't be going to everyone's DM, but definitely if I get an email, I'm more prone to like reach back out. So if you email me, Jasmine@jtv1.com, that's my email. If you email me there, I definitely am more able to, be able to hit you back versus
Right.
social media. I'm not always on there. It's rare that I go through if I'm not following, certain people. So it's like, if you really do want to get in touch with me, I would say an email.
Got you. So guys, that's a wrap. I gotta, even though y'all ain't gonna see me right now because my camera, something happened, it went out, the battery went. So I ain't worrying about it. You can still hear my voice, so it's fine. It's fine. So, guys, man, look, I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and make sure y'all tune in to what Jasmine got going on.
Yeah.
I got the book up here, Media Magnate. I got to put it in her camera right here.
Y'all go get the book.
Media Magnate. So make sure you guys go get the book. Jasmine, one more time, give the people information. Where can they find you and reach out to you?
Yeah, so you guys can find me at Jazmin Anderson Official. You can also email me or anything like that, JazminAnderson.com. But yes, if you just type my name, Jazmin Anderson, I should pop up. So yes, I'll be looking for y'all to keep up with what's next and what's going on.
That's it right there, guys. I appreciate you guys for tuning in to Culturally Distinct Podcast. Man, look, we got some great guests coming up for the next month, so make sure you guys tune in. And look, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, man. Look, we're going to continue to do what we do.
Yeah.
Much love. I love you guys, and you can't do nothing about it. Peace out.